Hello guys, you are welcome to Into the Labs with KD. So today I'll be talking about HIV AIDS. 1st December happens to be World AIDS Day, and it's actually a day set aside to reflect on the progress made to date and then the awareness to push HIV/AIDS eradication by 2030. So, from WHO by 2030, we are hoping that we'll be able to eradicate AIDS from the system. So, they thought the need for us to celebrate World HIV/AIDS Day. So, when you talk about HIV/AIDS, what is it? What is HIV/AIDS? So, HIV means human immunodeficiency virus. So this is a retrovirus that is envelope capable of having a two-stranded RNA genome. So when you say a retroviral or a retrovirus, what does it mean? So a retrovirus is a virus that has the RNA as its genomic material. For example, if you take as human, for example, we have the DNA. So the virus also have an RNA material as their genomic particle. Yes, so basically that is what a retrovirus means. So HIV also is envelope. So when we say envelope, a virus has a structure, and then from that structure, they have this capsid that surrounds them. And for HIV, is it does have the lipid bilayer around it. So we term it as an envelope retrovirus. So HIV actually is the cause of AIDS. So there are two different things. First, you have to catch the HIV first before it gets to AIDS. So when one comes to the lab and then we find out that the kit we are using is positive, we don't say the person is AIDS patient straight up. No, we say that the person is HIV what positive. So HIV is actually the last, the infection is has AIDS as its last stage. So AIDS is actually the last stage of HIV infection. I hope that is clear. So how long does it take for one to have catch the infection, which is HIV/AIDS? So approximately from WHO, we are saying that approximately within 2 to 4 weeks, one is should the virus should exhibit itself in the person when it comes to the symptoms. But for some other reasons, some people have a stronger immunity and they are able to take like decades for them to get to have the symptoms of HIV. And some of the symptoms could be AIDS defining symptoms such as the candidiasis, the lymphoma, the Kaposi sarcoma, and then a whole TB tuberculosis. So these are basically some of the symptoms one might exhibit for us to get to know that no, the person is possibly exhibiting signs of HIV, and then there should be the need for us to possibly do the test for the person. So how is HIV infection detected in the lab? So in the lab, we go through a whole lot of process to get to know that no, this person is HIV patient, and then there should be the need for the person to start an ART. When you say ART simply means antiretroviral therapy. Antiretroviral therapy. Basically, a therapy you undergo once you get to know that you are HIV positive. So first we do the fourth generation assay that has to detect the P24 antibody in your system. That is the fourth generation assay. And then we also do the antibody or the rapid test kits, which some of the pharmacies does and the lab does. That has to do with either saliva or blood taken for us to get the test done for you. So basically, some of those are the two, and then we also have the PCR technique that has to do with the RT-PCR, which is the real-time polymerase chain reaction test that is able to detect the viral load in your system. And in fact, this has become prominent in the confirmation and the treatment of HIV/AIDS. So possibly you can get into any of the labs if you think you want to find out your HIV status. You can get a viral load done to get to know that possibly you are safe from HIV/AIDS or not. Now, once you catch the virus, there are certain white blood cells that tries to fight the virus. And one of these viruses is CD4 cells. CD4 cells is a type of white blood cells that has to do with the T helper cells or the T cells that is capable of destroying the cells or the viruses or any bacteria that happens to get itself into the body. So in the lab, we do measurements of CD4 cells count, and then we get to know that no, this patient is AIDS patient. So that is how we got to know this patient is AIDS patient and this patient is not. Why? When you get to know that your CD4 cell count is less than 200 cells per microliter, we know that no, your immune system is down. You could possibly be HIV patient or AIDS patient. So you can just get into any lab, tell them you want to do a CD4 cell count. If you want to get to know your status, possibly not through the rapid test, but through the CD4, they can easily get it done for you so that you get to know. So that is how we got to know that this person is HIV or AIDS patient per the CD4 counts that the person comes out with, possibly less than 200 cells per microliter. So now, what are some of the things as an AIDS patient you are supposed to do on once it is being confirmed that you are HIV positive? Now there are medications. You have to strictly go by the ART unit of any facility you might find yourself. Let them get into the medication for you. You'll be able to be on this medication for a very long period of time, depending on the severity and the condition, for us to get to know that no, per the conditions, the age defining symptoms you are exhibiting, and per the therapy we have taken you through, now your HIV is undetected. And then good news is that once your HIV is undetected, that means you cannot transmit it. You can get married, you can do a whole lot of things without having the guilty of, let's say, letting people catch the virus. So it's good that you have to start ART at the early stage so that your AIDS will not develop into your HIV will not develop into your last stage of AIDS. So it's good to stay safe. Get, if you are HIV positive, continue with your medication so that you get to the undetectable range value. It's quite simple. It helps couples to possibly produce. You can get, there are instances where we have HIV positive patient getting married to an uninfected person, and then the uninfected person is still not having it for a very long period of time. They stay together and even produce children, and the children are not having HIV. So it's very good for positive. That is not the end. You just have to stay focused to the ARC units or the antiretroviral therapy, and then you are good to go. So for today's session of Into the Labs with KD, I hope these things helps out. You get to know the lab tests you are supposed to undergo to rule out HIV, and HIV actually causes AIDS. So I'll see you guys later in the next session of Into the Labs with KD. Peace out.